Hey everyone, it's Pearlescent Toys back in today's video with a Mezco 1/12 collective action figure review, and today we're looking at Wolverine. By the time this video goes up, this figure is going to be gone from my collection. This, just like the Medicom Mafex Spider-Man that I looked at recently, was a figure that I got before I started this channel, so I never really saw a point in making a video about it. But seeing that I'm never going to see this figure again, I just wanted to make a video for it. But without further ado, let's get into the review. Immediately upon opening this figure, you are met with a ton of plastic containing pieces of the figure and, you know, the figure itself. Oh my god, the sheer amount of plastic in this is insane. Yeah, f the environment, am I right? And this is the head he has straight out of the packaging, but I think I'm going to switch it with the more traditional, how do they say it in Deadpool and Wolverine, the BJ handles, just because it just looks more pleasing to the eye. Taking a look at the boots first, this is what you come to expect from Mezco 1/12 Collective. They're very lifelike sculpts. The leather around the shoe right here, the black part, it's all cracked up, it's a little dried, and there's some panels right here, some shading in between those lines. You can see like crease marks, especially right here at this flex point around the ankle. That looks awesome, and the toes too. And the bottom of the shoes, wow. Just tons of sculpted detail going down there, lots of treads. It has a very tactical look to it. The little fins on the side don't spread out like so much, but they do just enough to make it look good. You can move up to the thighs, and a lot of that sculpted detail is kind of lost because it's covered by cloth goods. And it looks fine, it looks cool. I like that you're able to see like his muscles poking through the costume. And he of course has those trunks. I remember there was like a time when Mezco 1/12 didn't put trunks on their superhero figures. I'm glad they finally embraced like those classic designs. Pretty sure this is real leather or something close to it. It looks phenomenal. We get up to the belt piece.
Let's do this!
Pouches! Unfortunately, do not wrap all the way around, but we do get 4 of them. The buttons are painted gold. Got that X logo in the center right there. The black is really glossy. Seam lines right there at the top and the bottom of the belt. They're easier to spot on the back. And then going up, we have the torso covered in cloth goods. But just like the thighs, like you can see a lot of the muscles protruding through this cloth good costume, and I think that's just awesome. They got the tiger stripes on the side of the suit right there. Really glossy and eye-catching, and those are at the top of the shoulders as well. You have a big, ugly seam line going down the back. Look, I understand why it's there. It still looks ugly. Going to the shoulders, and you have his little shoulder pads right... Oh my god. You could see it has like the same amount of sculpt work as like the boots earlier. You see some scratch marks right there, some black paint in between those panels, and some silver paint for these pieces, which I assume is connecting it to the suit. Yeah, these look awesome, but as you saw, they fall off really easily, and it's super frustrating trying to put it back on. We have the arm, double pinless elbows, and lots of hair. The hair could have been done a little bit better. Kind of wish the hair went a little further in and a little bit to the back here as well. And I wish they like caked it on a little thicker too. But yeah, that skin texture looks extremely lifelike. You even have like a vein going down the middle of the arm right here. We get down to his gloves, and yeah, again, just like the boots, so shoulder pads, sculpted extremely well. Some silver paint apps for some buttons right here. So much silver. But yeah, they really nailed that leathery texture. And then we get up to the neck, and it just looks a little weird. It's plastic, it's not cloth goods, so it just like kind of goes to cloth goods and then to this. He also has like kind of a pencil neck going. I think the neck is just a little too long, but I do like the crease marks right there at the front as well as the back. Now going over accessories, the first one we have is this head sculpt, this neutral head sculpt with his fins. You know, this is the classic tiger stripe suit mask. I think it looks great. It's one of the best ones I've seen. Love how much the fins protrude, and you can see dryness of the leather. Oh, they just nailed it. And there's even like a ton of wrinkling around the eyes too. It just looks fantastic.
Bruh. Say that again?
You get some panels on top of the mask, which I could have done without. I feel like that was just Mezco just adding stuff unnecessarily. He also has a similar head sculpt, just with the teeth snarling. It looks okay. And one last finned head sculpt with him yelling, and I gotta say, this looks awesome. I love the depth shown here in the mouth. Oh, my apologies. He actually comes with one more finned head sculpt, and this is a battle damaged head, and I think this like just blows the other heads out of the water. In terms of just paint apps and sculpt, what they managed to do here is like nothing short of amazing. His adamantium skull just poking through here, some hair on the top. One of the fins is missing. Lots of battle damage to his skin up front. I love that smirk. Oh my god, it's so perfect. He also comes with this masked head, which is based on his first appearance from Incredible Hulk. It's just a neutral expression. I've never really been the biggest fan of the mask from that issue, but I can appreciate its inclusion here. He also comes with another first appearance head with him snarling, and I think this looks great. He also comes with 2 unmasked heads and this cow piece to go along with them, and that goes all the way around his neck. Very similar to the piece that Marvel Legends has given us, just with a lot more detail put into it. That first head sculpt, you know, it's alright. But then he has this head sculpt, and I like it a whole lot more. Love these 2 strands going down and how far it spreads out. And this one has a little bit more emotion put into it, breathtaking to look at. And now onto the hands, and he has a lot of those as well. First up, these 2 fisted hands, 2 semi-open hands, and then he has a mismatching set of hands. Ugh. A wide open hand, this one just a little bit more wide open than the previous hands, and a pointing finger. What is it with these toy companies not giving 2 pointing hands for Wolverine? He can point with both hands, you guys know. And then going over his clawed hands. First up, the bone claws. There's like a lot of brown shading all throughout the claws, and I like the bumpiness of them too. 2 wide open hands with his adamantium claws sticking through. This is definitely hands that are used for when he's in a rage pose. Finally, 2 fisted hands with the adamantium claws. They're very reminiscent of the movie claws, which I go on and on about for Marvel Legends. Love the sculpt of those. Yeah, and these ones look extremely similar to that. I love the silver paint apps, the reflectiveness of it. He also comes with this belt. Yeah, this counts as an accessory, and the buckle that's on it. You're able to swap it out with this very dull golden belt buckle. The X logo in the middle has always been iconic to me, but I absolutely love the inclusion of this piece as well. And he also comes with this more modern belt, which I'm not going to put on because this is something that I've always hated about this figure. This belt is such a pain in the A. You can see like the peg right here connecting the strap together. It's not fully in there, and I don't know how it's like stood up this entire review, because I remember when I got this figure, this belt was just constantly falling off, and it was such a nuisance. Yeah, so I'm just gonna maybe put a picture on screen because I'm not doing this. He also comes with a ton of slashing effects for his claws. Each one plugs into the end of his adamantium claws right here. The first one is like this really quick swipe. They're all casted in this translucent plastic. He also has this much more straightforward one, a lot smaller than the others. This one that is similar in size to the last one, but has a lot of stuff going on at the end. This is like for maybe like when he's actually hitting something. And he also comes with this one that's a lot more circular than the other ones. I'm guessing this is like for when he's at the tail end of a swipe. And he also comes with this X swiping piece, which kind of looks like booty. Look, it's a good concept on paper. I just don't think it was really executed that well. He can plug in at the bottom or top. He also has this eye piece, which plugs into the Sentinel base. It's a perfect base stand for Wolverine. It has this little red button right here that if you press, I think it turns the eye on. Lots of like bullet holes, lots of scratch marks, big old swipe right here, a dent right in the middle of it. Like the whole team was fighting this. Not really much on the back, but at the front, that's where it's at. And that wraps up the accessories. Now let's hop into the articulation. First off, his head is able to move up this much, and it's able to look down this much. He has a great amount of pivot and some side-to-side movement, and that head just doesn't want to stay on. He's able to raise his arm up to a 90-degree angle, and there's a small amount of butterfly shoulder movement, allowing it to move this far back and this far forward. He has rotation at the shoulder, an upper bicep swivel, a double jointed elbow that allows him to bend in this much, and a ball mounted wrist hinge allowing his hand to move in pretty much any direction. It's a little tricky to tell what he has underneath the costume, but I think he has 2 diaphragm joints, which allows him to bend this far back, and just a tiny bit forward. He has some pivot too, as well as some side to side movement, although not a whole great amount. God dang it. He's able to kick his leg up this much, and go out to the side that much, and go back a decent amount. upper thigh swivel, a double jointed knee that allows his leg to bend back this much. His foot is able to move this far down, this far up, and he has some. And now going over size comparisons, here is the Mezco 112 Collective Tiger Stripe Wolverine next to the Love Triangle Marvel Legends Wolverine and the CT Toys Medicom Mafex based Wolverine. And yeah, immediately off the bat, you could see just the sheer size of his figure compared to other 112 companies. Here he is next to Movie and Astonishing Wolverine, Jubilee and Cyclops, Secret Wars and Extreme X-Men Wolverine, Beast and Colossus, Deadpool and Hydra Bob, Deadpool and Hydra Bob, Darwin and Morbius, Stanley and Squirrel Girl, and finally Jeff the Landshark and Spider Ham. Alright, time for my final rating and my overall thoughts. I think I'm going to give Wolverine here a final rating of 9 out of 10. It does fall short in a few areas. It's so close to perfect, but there's just little tiny things all throughout it that just could have been done a little bit better. But that being said, this is a great Wolverine figure and a perfect option if you're just looking for like a centerpiece Wolverine figure. If you don't really care about scale, if you don't really care about assembling the entire X-Men team, if you just want Wolverine, this is a perfect pick for that. And the base stand is awesome. I'm almost tempted to keep it. So yeah, 9 out of 10. But yeah, that'll do for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below what you thought about the figure. I would love to see your guys' opinions. While you're at it, like and subscribe and share with a friend. Anything you can do that'll support the channel will be greatly appreciated. And with that, I will see you in the next one. Later, bub. First off, his head is able to... Whoosh. Oh, mine's a little warped though, so sorry to the guy buying this.